For professional, knowledgeable real estate service you can count on, call the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team. For solid real estate information and advice you can trust, listen to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Compliments to the show. You're really hitting on the subjects and you're telling the truth. I appreciate you.
Now back to the show with broker owner and host, Dan Gemus.
Okay, 12:35 here on AM800. Yes, I am Dan Gemus. In studio with me today, Kathy Talbot with the Dan Gemus team. Yes, Kath?
Hey, when we were at the radio station,
yes,
I used to get to tell the time.
Oh, well, what time is it, Kath?
12:36.
Almost.
I've been demoted.
You've been demoted. Okay, listen, and a reminder, if you want a chance to win the Richmond Popcorn Company gift card today, text the keyword 10 popcorn to 10800 with your first and last name. Keyword is popcorn with your first and last name to 10800. Now listen, over the last couple of months, we've been featuring all of the local municipalities, talking about all the good things happening across Windsor and Essex County. And, well, one of our last segments is the municipality of Kingsville. On the phone with us right now, we have Mayor Dennis Rogers. Hello, Mayor. How are you?
Hey, good, Dan. How you doing, buddy?
Fantastic. Listen, thanks for joining us today. I have to say, I think Kath will agree with me. Kingsville is one of our favorite towns.
Yep.
It's a beautiful spot with so many great amenities.
Well, hey, we appreciate it. I know we've got some really strong entrepreneurial spirit in Kingsville, and a great supportive community. So we appreciate you coming to visit us, and we're happy to take your money.
Oh my goodness, no kidding. Hey, listen, one of the best signals of a strong community, like you said, is this downtown core, right? And when you go in downtown Kingsville, it's beautiful. The businesses are thriving, which is great to see.
Yeah, no, it was absolutely. Again, it's the downtown core is the heart of any town, especially our community. And the heartbeat of us is our businesses, our retail, our restaurants, you name it. And it's been a long couple of years. I'm fortunate to be a part of that community, owning a business downtown. And it was a rough road, but seeing where we were 3 years ago to where people are at now. And granted, it's not over, right? There's still some things businesses have to overcome because there was a significant amount of debt that people have added to their businesses to move forward. But a lot of them survived. We're happy there, and we're working to see what we can do to help and support and continue in the future.
So listen, this segment's all about highlighting great things happening in the municipalities. Tell us about some of the awesome things happening in Kingsville.
Yeah, well, a bunch of stuff I can tell you. One, so maybe I'll start with kind of our strategic priorities. I can tell you for Kingsville, for us, is, this really charging this council, just with some long-term vision. And, priorities we set kind of for this year is our attainable housing, our facilities building review, and the last one being our Main Street development. Because at the end of the day, we want to look beyond just where the 4 years are at. We're doing a longer-term kind of community plan, and we're kind of coining it Kingsville 2040 for us to lay out a blueprint, into the future.
That's definitely been a theme as we've interviewed the mayors from the various municipalities. Many of the councils are trying to look, further out into the future, as you mentioned, right? It's key. I think we've been so stuck over the last little bit in just focusing on today and now. But really, as councils start planning for the future, they have to look out further.
Yeah, no, we have to. I think, again, going back the last couple of years, but that taught us that, the world changed, right? Things are different now. And for us, is long-term sustainability is the goal. We never want to be in a position where, we're at a detriment and we can't provide, the basics. So I know for us is, we've got an infrastructure deficit that, every year that we're kind of starting to chip away at. So we're establishing a 10-year plan for us to kind of bring us back so we can kind of maintain. I know that's not the most interesting stuff, roads and bridges and culverts, but I got to tell you, for me, it's, municipalities, those are things we have to be good at. We have to have a plan for them, and we have to be fundamentally sound, for those. So to me, that's where it starts. And then, as we have this 12-year tax plan moving forward and being able to pay for stuff, and then you get to play a little bit of offense, and you get to kind of do the fun stuff. But, at this point, it's establishing foundation this year.
And you mentioned no resident wants tax increases. No resident likes to hear that, roads cost so much. But unfortunately, we all use them. We need them. And like you say, if you keep pushing it off, next thing you know, it gets really expensive, as you move forward. So you have to tackle them as you go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can tell you, for us just to maintain, our infrastructure, it's $10 million a year, and we're only at $6 million. So we got a $4 million deficit every year, that we got to make up. So that's not sitting in a cupboard in a jar. We got to make that up. And of course, the number one way to make that up is building a tax base. So
Yep.
The last thing you want to do is just continue to increase taxes to make that up. So we're looking at a couple different ways. Obviously, with housing is the first easiest way, but we're also looking at some other ways of increasing our industrial and commercial lands, attracting some new businesses and some commercial businesses. Before I kind of got into politics, I could say I got into politics by advocating for an economic development and tourism officer, and I did that for a couple of years to council in Kingsville. That's kind of what sparked me on this path, and eventually one was hired. Right, so now the great part of that is we get to play offense, kind of going after businesses and helping supporting the businesses that we have. So it's it's exciting to be able to do that. But again, at the end of the day, there's a reason for that, just so it's not solely on, number one, our current taxpayers, number two, all on housing, because we need to be able to make up the difference with many different roads.
Now, are there any short-term projects that you're aware of that you can talk about within the city or the town of Kingsville, whether it's residential or commercial, industrial?
Yeah, well, I can tell you. So one of our priorities is our facilities building review. So what we're currently doing is we brought in Terry Fink, as a consultant, and he's been involved in Atlas 2. He's been involved in Town of LaSalle, Ontario Ministry of Culture. So we're going through all of our buildings. We're doing environmental assessments, look at the construction, what we got to do to repair, really to see, we're talking with all of our users, really to see where those are going to rank, within our future plan. Because ultimately, the most exciting thing, I would say, thing that we've been talking about for years, is we have this brand new super school, which is going to be open in September of 2024.
Yes.
So when that opens, that leaves 3 school properties, in our municipality that we're going to want to make decisions on. So again, getting back to kind of the financial planning is, we're starting to save to put us in a position for us to purchase those when they become available for sale. Because where those properties are in our town is going to be integral for our long-term plan, how those look, what's going to be on them, shaping housing, shaping business. So at this point, it's really just putting ourselves in the best possible position for us to purchase those and shape the narrative on all of those properties.
Now, listen, you mentioned the school. For those who aren't familiar, who aren't in Kingsville, talk about this new super school. As you mentioned it, it's a K to grade 12. You mentioned it'll be ready for September of next year. Tell us about the school a bit.
Yeah, so it's, for those that have been in Kingsville, it's been a little bit a long time coming, but it's exciting that, once the groundbreaking happened, and, looks like the foot's been on the gas pedal since. But essentially what it is, it's a K to 12 school, similar style to what Tecumseh Vista is in Tecumseh there.
Yes.
But we have 2 public schools and then 1 high school that's going to be feeding, into the school, as well as the Harrow High School folks that closed a little bit ago. So we have Kingsville Public School, Jack Minor Public School, and then Kingsville District High School. So those 3 schools are going to be closing, and all those students are going to be going over to the K to 12 school on Jasperson by the arena.
Fantastic. Now, listen, one more question I have for you before we wrap up here, but affordable housing has been a hot topic, obviously, in the news, on our show and our business. What are your thoughts on affordable housing? And, it's getting more difficult, obviously, and we're seeing the market ramp back up again. What are your thoughts around this topic?
Yeah, so everybody's favorite A word, right? Affordable,
Yep.
attainable. So, I actually just did a video myself just kind of outlining the difference between the two. Attainable housing, which described is a home that's 80% of market value, is one of the priorities we're looking at for Kingsville. So things we're doing on that aspect is, we're looking at our zoning. Right now, our zoning is conducive to single-family homes, double driveway, garage, unit. So as that's establishing as a priority, we're charging our administration to, start changing some of the bylaws, right? So we're looking at smaller lots, we're looking at smaller driveways, we're looking at four, sixplexes, looking at density heights, you name it, just for us to make that more attainable, for a resident. On the affordable side, that's our subsidized housing. So the name of the game for subsidized housing is having shovel-ready land and shovel-ready projects. So what we're doing on that side is, we're having conversations with, some not-for-profits within our area, ones that are already doing it. Do they want to expand? Do they want to, manage another property? We're having meetings with, Windsor Essex Housing Corp as far as funding-wise, as well as, me sitting on county council. We're having a county council conversation, with us working collectively with, Windsor Housing, because they're the service manager for all funding, right? So conversation we're having with them just to ensure county's getting their cut of the pie, right? Because at this point, the county's population is pretty much equivalent to the city of Windsor. So we want to make sure we're getting our cut of the pie, and then those go down accordingly, to the municipalities. Because again, but that can be great, and all this funding can be there, but the name of the game is shovel-ready projects, and that's what we're working on.
I love it. I love it. Listen, Mayor, thank you so much for joining us today. So many great things happening out Kingsville way, and can't wait to see where the next 5, 10, and plus years go out there. So great job as always, and keep up the great work. Looking forward to talking to you again in the future.
All right. Thanks so much for having me on. Appreciate it. Have a great day and enjoy your weekend.
Course. You too. That's Mayor Gemus Rogers, the town of Kingsville. We're going to come back. We're going to give away our Richmond Popcorn Company gift card. If you haven't already entered, you still have a chance. Text the word popcorn with your first and last name to 10800. And we'll come back with our landlord tip with Patrice from Goldmar Property Management. Lots more to come right here on the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.